Yo, yo. How's everybody doing? Let me know if the audio sounds okay. Let me know how the video looks. I'm working with a new camera. I got a cool mic stand now, so the mic is closer to my face. Hopefully that makes for a better listening experience for you guys. As you can see in the background, there's still some boxes and stuff here, so still a lot to do in terms of setting up my space. I got some new peripherals, new keyboard, new mouse, things like that. Nice new desk, new monitor stands, new beautiful light. And I have kind of the place I'm in is a 3-bedroom. So this is, I've got one bedroom that's dedicated as kind of a studio now, which I'm excited about because I can make it dope. So I apologize for the mess in the background. I will be cleaning that up as this week goes on. Basically, everything is in the apartment now, and now it's just a matter of unpacking it and that kind of thing. I'm gonna have a cool TV back here, Samsung frame. That'll display shit on. I have some cool lights that are gonna go in the room. For now, I might go back to the green screen. I don't know. My new PC is not here yet, so I'm still using my old PC. But my new one that's coming is an absolute beast. So I cannot wait to get that going. It's going to be awesome. This camera should be much better. This is like a 4K webcam. Some streamer buddy of mine suggested it because I just bought a Sony kind of A6400 and I was just going to mount that on my light. And he's like, dude, get this AI camera. It's way better. It does motion tracking. It's 4K video. It's super sick. Plug and play. So I was like, okay, let's try it out. So you guys will have to let me know if the video quality is good. Yeah, I think it's gonna be good. The setup's gonna be sick, man. New keyboard. Finally got a mechanical keyboard from Glorious. Got a matching mic mouse from them as well. I got all sorts of new stuff. You guys are gonna see some new cool lights, some shit like that. It's gonna be real nice. So I'm really excited. Thank you. I'm looking cut. Thank you, my G. I am on a diet. I'm sub 200, which is awesome. Trying to get down to 190, 198 right now. Depends in the morning if I taken a shit or not. But 198 right now. Yeah, so let's I love this new keyboard too. It's so fucking clicky. So quick clicky, right? Like oh, that is that's that good shit right there. It doesn't have a num pad, a numerical pad, which is kind of something I'm used to having. So that will be something to get used to. But here, check this out. So if I go like this, now the camera should track my face, which is kind of cool, right? Kind of cool, right? Neck don't look as thick. I know, bro. Unfortunately, part of losing weight means I lose a little bit of girth in the neck area, but that's okay. I still got loads to spare. So let's get into the charts. Let's get into the video here. So, sorry I didn't get a condensed stream up this last week. Obviously, with the move, things were hectic. I literally did that last stream and then took my PC apart and left that house, and I just got it back together and working. So I apologize, fan. My editor just had a baby, so congrats to him. And I figured, you know what? Let me give him a little bit of time off. Let me give him, 24 hours or so paternity leave for the birth of his child. But yeah, so excited to be back with the streams. We're going to be back on kind of that more regular weekly schedule with the condensed stream as well. And I got some other stuff planned. Once my new PC is here and my setup is complete, I'm going to feel really good. But other than that, things are going good, guys. Challenge account is up 30+% at this point, which is great. It's up over 100% after the shit start that we had. So that's fun. Taking some good trades there. I'm currently in a couple trades. I'm going to decide tonight, probably when this next kind of couple candles close, if I want to hold these trades going into CPI tomorrow. So CPI tomorrow, high impact event. Jerome Powell's basically going to come out and let us know if they're going to be kind of the state of inflation and the market and how the Fed is doing with this so-called soft landing that they're planning. So he is gonna let us know. And the market is probably going to be volatile in each direction. We're probably going to get a whipsaw in both directions before we get an actual move. Now, I will be very clear that my bias from this area is to the upside right now, but it does not mean that we can't make a new low below this low that we had just made today or yesterday, I guess, depending on where you live. Right? So you have Monday's low here. So this could still get run and then we could go up, but my daily bias is quite simple here. So something I plan on doing some videos on in the future is how to determine your daily bias, how to determine your directional bias, because that's one of the most important things you need to do, especially when you're trying to trade the lower time frames. If you have an idea of where the next daily candle is going to go, up or down, or even the next week of daily candles, so the weekly candle itself, is it going to expand upwards or is it going to expand downwards? That is such a key part of trading, because then when you're on the lower time frame, what you're doing is you're carrying that bias from the high time frame down to the low time frame. And so even though in the low time frame there's a lot more noise, right? Okay, well, my daily bias is bullish. So even though I can't really make sense of this on the hourly, I know my daily bias is bullish. So when I see that bullish SFP, that's a trade I want to take. And I want to target upside, which would be lining up with that higher time frame bias. So you guys always hear me talk about lining up that low time frame bias, getting back in sync with the high time frame order flow and direction. That all starts with the high time frame. What direction is price most likely to reach for it next? And that decision is based on either the weekly candle or the daily candle. And then you use that for all of your decision making down. If I have a daily bullish bias, I can be looking at longs on the 1 minute, knowing that my probability of being right is higher because I'm in line with that daily order flow. No, I did not buy the Trading Lord NFTs. I did see that they minted out. So, congrats to Trading Lord. That's pretty cool. He's a homie. Yeah. So, and for someone's asking what kind of camera this is, it's an Insta360 Link AI camera, webcam. Mayne, did you move to the US? No, I'm still Canadian. You don't really want to go to the US if you're not, like, if you're from there, right? It's very hard to leave, right? And get away from the IRS and the SEC and things like that. Not that I want to escape, I pay my taxes, but they are the most aggressive agencies in, kind of financial world and the tax world that we live in, right? Being in crypto. And US is going to be heavily regulated. And you're already seeing that. Gary Gensler is on a bit of a warpath right now. He's going after stable coins. He's going after Paxos, which is regulated by the New York, what's the fucking term? Some sort of New York financial body. I can't remember the term right now, or the acronym. But they are behind BUSD. They're who kind of, is part of Binance's stable coin. You're seeing Binance get, kind of some FUD surrounding it there with regulations. Kraken having to take down their Ethereum staking services, paying a huge fine to the SEC. So Gary Gensler's on the warpath. There's people like Elizabeth Warren and all these clowns in Congress and in the Senate and shit that are anti-crypto and are fucking stupid motherfucking vegan fucking Sam fucking Bankman fuckface did not help the situation at all. And I've been saying this for a while, and I still believe it to be true, and it's starting to happen now, right? Is they are going to use what happened with FTX as a club, a cudgel to beat regulation down on us in terms of regulating crypto and what we can and can't do, all in the name of consumer protection. But we know damn well they're not protecting consumers from anything. Where was the protection with Terra, right? With Luna? Where was the protection with Celsius? Where was the protection with, all of these rugs, right? That exploded. The damage is already done, right? The damage is already done there. But it's just one of those things, in my opinion, and I'm a bit of a tinfoil hattist with this kind of stuff, where I'm like, they don't want you to have money. They want you to be poor and own nothing and eat bugs and be happy, right? They don't want you to have money. No different than why they halted trading during the whole AMC, GameStop, the GameStop short squeeze, right? They don't want retail, the regular Joe, to have an opportunity and have the same access that hedge funds and the elites have, right? Nancy Pelosi can do insider trading, or her husband, Paul Pelosi, is apparently the greatest trader of all time. He'll buy Microsoft. A week later, Microsoft will announce some sort of deal with the US government. What a coincidence. And nothing seems to be happening there, but God forbid you want to stake some Ethereum or use stable coins or do whatever. They don't want you to be able to do that. So it's pretty crazy. So we have all of that going on. The Gary Gensler warpath, all that bullshit. And then we have CPI tomorrow. Like I said, generally pretty volatile. So unless you're already positioned, I probably would go in flat if I was you. That's just my personal opinion. Unless you're already positioned, you got, a very well-defined stop, entry, target, yada, yada. By all means, I'm in a good trade right now, which I will go over. But I would not be surprised if we wick low during CPI and then go up. But we'll talk about that. And trying to trade the CPI move, also a little dicey, high risk. Take the day off, right? Watch, see what happens, then study, annotate it, right? Okay, so quick shout out, guys, to Prime XBT, the sponsors of these streams. So thank you so much to the Prime team for continuing to support me through this bear market, through all the bullshit that's going on. They've stuck by me. They continue to support me, which directly is a benefit to you guys, because I am posting these videos for free and doing all that kind of stuff because of the sponsorship money I am getting from Prime. I do get a kickback, and it's based on you guys signing up to my link, using my discount code, depositing some money, and actually trading there. So if you want to know how to support me, that's the best way to do it. Sign up with the link in the description, throw some money on there. Make sure you put in code Mayne50 first, and then start trading. Start following along with some of the trades I take. You can trade indices. You can trade gold and silver on there. So if you're ever wondering how you can follow some of the gold trades and stuff that I post, that's going to be the way to do it. So shout out to the Prime XBT team. All of that information in the description of the video. So daily bias for me on Bitcoin is bullish, and I will explain why. So what we have here, okay, is the huge move up, right? This is our market structure level of this down leg, right? So this down leg, this is here. We've now broken through it, right? So we have made a market structure shift on the daily time frame bullishly. The weekly as well, right? You have a weekly market structure shift. You have a low, a high, lower low, lower high, another lower high, another lower low, market structure shift, okay? So that alone is enough to kind of give you the inkling that we should be bullish here and still biased towards longs, in my opinion. Now, you guys know I shorted this move, right? We shorted this on the challenge account Shorted this personally as well. This was our standard setup, with the SFP, low time frame entry technique. So shorted this, great. We've now run these lows, which I've been talking about for ages. I was like, I don't think we go higher until we run these lows. To me, this was just very clear engineering of liquidity. They were pushing it higher. It was losing momentum, and they were building up these just slightly higher lows. Might look like a rising wedge to you, which is a bearish pattern. That's exactly what it is. It's engineering liquidity on the bottom, runs the top side, and then breaks down, right? Ran the top, breaks down, sells off. So we do have a reason to be, we had a reason to be cautious here, expecting a pullback. We also have this new daily range here, effectively, right? Right? So we have our daily range here, this low to this high. We're in the upper part of that range. We had liquidity built up here right above the mid-range, sold off, ran all those lows, and now where are we? We're now within a daily bullish order block. That's right here. That's this gray shaded box. We're in the lower half of the daily range. We're in a discount. Where do we want to look for longs? At a discount. Where do you want to look for shorts? At a premium, right? If you want to sell something, you want to sell it at a premium. If you want to buy something, you want to buy it at a discount. So relative to this price leg, right, from here to here, if I want to be longing, I want to long in the lower part of this leg, right? Or if I'm shorting, I want to be shorting in the upper quadrant of this leg, right? Discount, premium, okay? So we're into this daily order block here. We've put in a daily SFP here today on Monday. So if I pull out my Spaceman levels, you're going to see there's Monday's low and Monday's high right there. This looks ripe for manipulation and fuckery going into CPI, in my opinion. You have Monday's high, Monday's low. We ran a low here. Okay, we're back inside Monday's range. We're back inside this range of this low here. To me, I would not be surprised at all if CPI does something like this, right? Like runs the high, gets everyone long, then runs out the low. Because anyone who took the same long as me, right, on a sweep here into this daily FVG or this daily OB, everyone's risk is right here. A bunch of my stop is right there, right? So Jerome Powell, if you're listening, there's my stop, bro. Come and get me, motherfucker. Come and get me. What are you gonna fucking do? Sorry, guys, here. Forgot to take my vitamin. It's been in my pocket for fucking hours. So something like this at CPI, or maybe we run the low first, right? And then go up. I don't know. But I would not be surprised. This looks right for fuckery. So I might just take my money and run at this point because I'm up, a couple grand or at least $1,000, maybe 1,500. At one point it was $2,000 on the challenge account, right? So that's 5% or something like that. Pretty good. But yeah, we're in this daily order block. We're in the discount of this range, okay? And we have a weekly bullish fair value gap here, okay, that we are inside. Now, what I don't love is that, we've had this close through the 50% of this fair value gap. So that's not ideal, but I'm still interested in being long biased here based on just how the daily looks, right? So we took out last week's low. That's here. Took out last week's low with a nice looking candle here on the daily into support. Go down to the 12-hour. There's your 12-hour SFP, right? So what would be confirmation here on the 12-hour? I likely would want to see us break above here, right? That's what I'd kind of want to see on the 12-hour. But looking at the daily still, where am I thinking we go from here? We have this gap here, okay, above price, and then we have this bearish order block here. So that would be the internal range inside this range liquidity that I would be targeting on this move is a move up into these areas here to take profit. And if you zoom in, right, the H4 gap is really nice here. So you have that swing high right below it there, right? So my TP is actually at 22,500, and it's basically this H4 bearish order block, fair value gap, ran the low, moved to here. That's the entire premise of my long. So we will have to wait and see. Obviously I will let you guys know if I decide to close my longs, if I decide to stay in them. What is H4? The 4-hour chart, H4. So yeah. So that's it, right? That's it for my Bitcoin long. And I'll show you the Ethereum long that I'm in. It's the exact same. But high time frame sweep into our demand. Daily bias is bullish. Can we go lower? Absolutely. Like I said, we have Monday's range here. If we do this going into CPI, if we trade like this in CPI and then reclaim this low, guess what? I'm hammering along, targeting up there, stop there. So if this is what happens in CPI, if we run Monday's low and make another lower low, another SFP, right? I will hammer along if we get back inside. Otherwise, I think probably best to just wait and see what price does and then get on board. I don't even know when the last CPI is, but I'm pretty sure there was like a whipsaw and then the actual move happened, and it was, it was obvious once the CPI kind of price action ended what direction we were going to go. So looking at the hourly here, you guys should see my entry and my setup right here. Why did I get long? Where did my stop go? This is all stuff you guys should know by now if you've been watching my videos for some time. But this is your standard setup. Again, I could go down to the low time frame and get involved here on some low time frame fractal of the same entry pattern. And the reason I would have an expectation of being right and why I would feel good about taking that trade is because my high time frame bias is bullish. So keep in mind, this is a daily order block and it's big. This goes down to 20,385. We can absolutely trade lower before going higher, okay? But just like I talked about with that Ethereum trade that I ended up getting stopped out on, it's the setup. You've got to take it. Like, you have to take it. That's just the way it is. So when you are working on your system and you're trying to figure out, what trades to take, or first of all, when you're figuring out your system, this obviously takes time. But when you, sorry, one sec here. But when you get your system and you know what you're doing, you know what you're looking for, right? So I know exactly what I'm looking for every time I get in the charts, right? I have my checkbox of things that I look for that define a good setup. If those boxes are ticked, I have to pull the trigger, okay? The reason being is your setup requires you, okay, to do things the same way over and over and over and over again. That's why it's called a system. It is systematic, right? If I take 1,000 trades, but the first 500 trades I trade differently than the second 500 trades, that is a useless data set, right? But if I'm doing the same thing every time for those 1,000 trades, that data that I glean from that data set is actually useful and relevant. And if I say, hey, over 1,000 trades, taking every single instance of this setup, I got 45% of them right, 55% wrong, but a 2R expectancy on each one. That is a profitable system, right? So you have to realize sometimes the boxes get ticked, you take the trade and it doesn't work. You are not going to be right 100% of the time. You're not even going to be close to right 100% of the time. I have periods where I'm get 5, 6, 7, 8 trades in a row right, right? And then I have periods where I get multiple wrong in a row. But I made a post about this in the Telegram. The difference is the winners outweigh the losers, not in quantity, but in the size, right? Because of that asymmetric reward to risking $1 to make $2, you only have to be right 33% of the time to make money, right? Because those 3 out of 10 trades, right? Those 3 wins, right? Times 2 give you 6. Those 6 losses, right? 3.333 and 6.666. So out of 100, 33 wins, right? Pays you $66, and your losses were 66, right? So if you won 33 trades and you lost 66 out of 100, I know it doesn't quite add up to 100, but you do the decimals, it does. That's all you need with a 2-to-1 risk reward. Now, if you're aiming for 3-to-1, 4-to-1, even less, you have to be right even less. And that's why I don't generally take 1-hour setups and stuff like that, because then I got to be hitting 50%. I might hit 50% of my trades. I've been doing this a long time. Most of you will not get 50% of your trades right, at least initially. So give yourself that wiggle room to take losses and keep firing by making sure that the losses are smaller than the winners, okay? So I will go over the Ethereum trade that got stopped out and why I entered again. Again, tick the boxes, I'm in. So hopefully Bitcoin setup makes sense. So I'm long right now. My entry is like 21. Let me just double check here. What is this? Fuck this. I'll check on my phone. So my entry is, so this is the challenge account here, guys. I don't know if you can make that out, okay? But my entry is 21,518.1. My stop was set at 21,325, which is just below Monday's low here. My TP was 21,500, which is basically filling in this H4 gap here, okay? So that is a risk of $965 if I'm stopped out, with a potential reward of $4,900 if I'm right. So if I lost $1,000 on that Ethereum trade, I didn't even lose $1,000. I cut it at half hour because it started dumping. But let's say I would have taken the full loss at $1,000. Okay, I'm negative 1,000, right? But then I win my next trade and I make $5,000. I net out 4, right? That's those winners help make up for the losers, right? So does everything make sense on why I longed Bitcoin and what I think could potentially happen tomorrow? Why my bias remains bullish for at least one more push to the upside? Very well could do this, right? We very well could do this and then take out these lows. But I think this is something I have to bid. And a lot of altcoins look pretty good because that's just my system. So when I see the trades, I take them and I live with the result. I missed you too, Elijah. Hey, Mayne, have you done a video on how to identify your daily bias? Do you have hardline rules for identifying bias? I just explained how I identify my daily bias. Part of it is visual, right? Like, are we making higher highs, higher lows? Does the chart look bullish or does it look bearish, right? It's as simple as that. And what you want to see, right, is if you think your bias is bullish, you want to see bullish order blocks get respected, right? If you're bearish, you want to see bearish order blocks get respected. If you have a bearish bias, but every bearish order block is getting broken through, maybe your bias is wrong, right? So you want to identify market structure. Are we making higher highs and higher lows? And then you want to mark out your PD arrays, which is what ICT calls them, your order blocks, your fair value gaps. And you want to see where those are relative to price. What is the most likely next objective for price? Where do you think it is most likely to draw next? Based on us running this low into this order block, okay, I think the next draw on liquidity is here. So I'm going to frame my trades based on that, right? NYDFS. There you go. So the New York Department of Financial Services. I was close. How can a stable coin be a security with the expectations of profit? I don't know. I do not know. Dude, staking is probably done in the US though, which is lame. Super lame, man. Like, yeah, let's not talk about how you didn't protect us from literally any of the fucking scams that happened in crypto over the last couple of years. But yes, please prevent us from staking on legitimate services where people can make money, like an interest-bearing savings account. All FUD or legitimate concerns with the recent news? Listen, I mean, there is regulation coming for crypto hard, especially in the US. That's a fact. That's not FUD. It's coming. So be careful. Be aware. Who knows? Maybe we're all moving to Dubai. What's up, T.O. Pull? Yo, Eddie, what's up, man? The attack on stablecoins could be the first barrage before the CBDC push. I completely agree. Again, I'll put my tinfoil hat on. I've been saying this since during COVID. I was like, you notice how during COVID, they didn't want you to have cash for anything because it was dirty, right? And now, even though COVID is over, I mean, it's not over, it still is out there, but, you know, lockdowns are done largely and pretty much everything is back to normal. There's still places that are cashless now. Why would they want you to not be able to have cash? Because cash is only the true untraceable. I'm going to get fucking Epstein if I keep talking like this, boys. But I like how it fucking follows me when I get real close to the mic. It's untraceable, right? If I have cash, you don't know where I spent it, how I spent it, on what, right? Cash is king. Right. So people are like, oh, I never have any cash. I'm like, you're dumb, dude. Like $100 cash in the right person's hand, right person's pocket can go a long way. Every time I go out in Miami, Vegas, anywhere in the States, I literally find the biggest security guard in the place. So let's say I have bottle service or whatever. I'll find the biggest security guard. I go up to him right at the start of the night. I give him $100. And I just say, listen, dude, I'm going to be getting turned up with the boys. I'm going to be getting fucked up. You make sure I don't do anything stupid. If I do, get me to stop. Make sure I don't get kicked out. If I got to go to the bathroom, take me there, right? That kind of stuff goes a long way, right? Cash is king. I'm still a huge fan of cash. I keep a lot of cash. But they don't want you to have cash because they want you to effectively they want equity globally. That's really what the play is, in my opinion, with the climate change narrative, CBDCs, all of this stuff. Like I accidentally turned off the facial tracking here. In my opinion, the reason they're doing that is they want to effectively not allow you to be as free as you are now. And if they can control your money, right, that's just one more level of control that the government has. And then if they do things like regulate the fuck out of crypto, lockdowns for COVID, which cause people to lose their businesses and things like that, the less you have, the more reliant you are on the system, on the government, right? That's why you got to get your bag. I made a post about this the other day. I'm like, the problem with most people on Twitter is they're like, oh, this guy's launching an NFT and this guy's selling an indicator and this guy's doing this and blah, blah, blah. You should only, like, who cares how people are making their money? You need to be making as much money as you possibly can in as short amount of time as possible, because the less you have, the more reliant you become on an ever-growing, ever more restrictive system. And if they get to a point where they push CBDCs out and we can no longer spend money where we want to, let's say you were a bad little citizen and you emitted too much carbon. They're already doing this, right? They tell you how much carbon emissions are going into products you buy, services you use. If you go on Google Flights and look up a flight, it tells you the carbon emission. I guarantee this is coming. They will say each individual citizen has a limit on how much carbon they can emit. And if you go over that limit, maybe your CBDCs, your US backed, US government backed crypto dollar, right? The new USD, but it's digital. They might say, well, you know what? You can't spend that at the liquor store. or you can only we're gonna ration or limit where you can use your money because you didn't follow the rules, you emitted too much carbon, you did whatever, something we don't like. So that's just my tinfoil hat take. Believe it, don't believe it, I don't really care, but I do think you should focus on making as much money as possible as soon as possible. Stop worrying about what I make, what other people make, how they make it. None of that gives you money. None of that helps your bottom line. And it's no different than in trading. All that matters is the P&L at the end of the day on your screen. Doesn't matter what I do, what some other person does. You might think someone's a LARP. You might think someone's a scammer. You can call them out. Great. Zach XBT is one of the rare people who made a career effectively out of this. But for the most part, you calling someone out, that doesn't really help you, right? You need to focus on your bag. Stop pocket watching others. Get your bag up ASAP would be my best advice going forward. But hey, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? So, okay, enough of that. That talk there. Have you seen any updates about leverage trading in Canada? How do you deal with the off-ramping? That's a question you should have with, I haven't seen any updates. Listen, like a lot of these exchanges that we use are already not allowed to be operating in Canada and servicing Canadian citizens. But we use things like VPNs and things like that. We don't KYC to get around that. And that's what I will continue to do. In terms of off-ramps, me personally, I have companies here in Vancouver that will give me cash for crypto, right? So there's, Vancouver Bitcoin, for example, is a company here in Vancouver where I can literally send, you have to do KYC and everything. It's all legit, but you can sell your crypto to them and they'll write you a check, wire you money. So that's what I do for off-ramping. Is that a duck in your profile pic? It's a robot goose. Last CPI was Jan 12th. Okay, so let's go see what happened on January 12th. Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah, so I think, where's the start of the day? Right here. This was your Jan 12th CPI day, right? So ran the highs, ran the lows. There's your CPI announcement right there, and then the actual direction. Wouldn't the market have already priced in a bad CPI? How the fuck do they know what's going to happen, what he's going to say? We don't know. We do not know. You could argue that the market is pricing in that it's going to be bullish. Look at the stock market, right? Very bullish day on stocks. Came into this is another perfect example of talking about daily bias. What do you see here? I see higher highs and higher lows. What else do you see? Breaker block, order block here, respected, order block here, respected, bullish order blocks being respected, higher highs, higher lows, daily bias is bullish. Ran this low. Where's the next draw? We're bullish here. So we're into resistance on SPX, but I'm getting kind of off track here. I like the idea of sweeping the lows one more time than going to 24K. Completely possible. We'll have to see. If you get stopped on your BTC trade, assuming you hold and re-enter, where would the new stop loss be? Well, it depends. If I get stopped, right, that means that we've made a new low below this one. So then if we then reclaim Monday's range, my stop goes below that new low that was created, right? Because the idea is, okay, if we have another sweep that happens here and then bounce back again, okay, my idea is wrong below here. Just like this current idea is wrong below this low. Do you think charts follow the news or news follows the charts? I think news follows the charts. I think most information is visible and apparent in the chart. But that is a question that no one will ever be able to answer fully. So, okay. I think people think that laws are different than they are. Pretty sure they make it illegal for exchanges to service Canadians, but not illegal for a citizen to use their services. So they only go after the exchange. Potentially, yeah. I'm not really sure. Okay. So yeah, CPI is tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. So that's early as fuck. I don't know if I'm going to wake up for 5:30 a.m. just to probably not do anything. But we'll wait and see. Regardless, I'll do some post-mortem analysis after the fact, and we can see if we can glean anything from that. Your face got leaner. Thank you. I'm trying to lose weight, so that's a good thing. Okay, so let's talk about Ethereum. So Ethereum, if you guys know, I took the long here, right? Based on this setup, right? The run of the low. We had another run of the low, market structure break, but we were never able to clear this 12-hour high. We actually ended up SFPing that 12-hour high, right? So we SFP'd that 12-hour high. As soon as that candle closed, I should have exited, but instead I ended up exiting for a half an hour loss. Okay. Yeah, PST is Pacific Standard Time. So 5:30 a.m. where I live, 8:30 a.m. in New York. I think 5:30 p.m. in like Dubai, and like I guess 5 hours would be 10. So now 1:30 in UK, I think, if you're 8 hours ahead. It's 7:47 right now, PM Pacific Standard Time. So in less than 12 hours is the CPI announcement. I should go to bed already. Okay, so I took that long. Why? It ticked all my boxes. We had the high time frame gap here. We had the run of this old weekly low here, right? So we ran this old weekly low, SFP'd it. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a long based on that kind of parameters. It went in my favor briefly, and then I got stopped out. I have no issue with that stop out. I ended up closing early, like I said, but sometimes you're just wrong. And price wanted to go lower. There was a bit of a divergence, right, in Bitcoin versus Ethereum in that, Ethereum had run some lows and Bitcoin hadn't yet. So now Bitcoin is into its daily order block as well. So I took a long on Ethereum based on the exact same premise effectively, right? So we have this 12-hour fair value gap here, okay? We ran, now we have, I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this and this. Okay. We now have these lows here, right, that have been run. It's not an SFP, but it doesn't matter, right? The lows have been run. Okay. If you go to a high enough time frame, it will be an SFP on one of them. There you go. It's a daily SFP, right? But on the 12-hour, it looks like it closed below. I talk about this. It doesn't have, just like the SFP on one time frame might not be an SFP on another time frame, right? But the idea here is that we ran the lows here. We have a daily SFP. Where's your H1 setup? You guys know exactly what to look for in the high time frame. Bullish PD array setup forms right here. You have an H1 SFP to go along with it. Bang it. My entry is 1488. So I entered in like right here. On this low pullback, saw it start pushing away. I aped in. My target is going to be Monday's high here. Okay. Similar to Bitcoin on Ethereum, we've made a clear bullish push, right? From this range here. So we have this, new leg in price, And from here to here, let's say is our range, right? We're at the bottom, right? So I want to be looking for reasons to potentially get long here, similar to Bitcoin. Fill in some of this gap here would be nice. Daily bearish order block here. 12-hour gap refined a little bit. H4 gap refined even more. And I really like this because now it's right in line with the mid-range there. So that would be kind of your setup on Ethereum. Stop is below Monday's low. Target 1 is these relatively equal highs here and Monday's high. So this would be probably target 1. And this would be target 2. And then maybe we do this. I don't know. Or if we get above here, then maybe we're going to 2K. I don't know. Not interested in trying to determine what happens. I just want to try and get on board with the next move. Okay? That's all I care about. So setup's pretty straightforward. Again, I don't know if I'm going to hold this going into CPI because just like on Bitcoin here, this could very well run Monday's low and then go up. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to be awake for a few more hours yet, so I'll probably monitor it and then decide. But if there wasn't CPI tomorrow, I would be totally fine, comfy, just leaving my stop there, going to sleep, sleeping right through CPI. The New York Open wouldn't matter. Stops in, entries in, targets in. Let it ride. See what happens. Okay, so is that clear on Ethereum? Is the game plan on Ethereum clear as well? It should be. Both are pretty straightforward. Okay. Why I'm long and where I'm long from and all that fucking fun stuff. God, the Ethereum top in hindsight, so obvious, right? Big SFP up there, SFPs, breakdowns. But this would be, right, if we're going to get a larger correction down to like, here, this would be the ideal place for that to happen. This would be your lower high. But I don't want this to happen. Well, I do because I want to buy more spot, but I don't want it to happen. I'd rather we go up. But let's see. So hopefully that's makes sense here, guys. This guy says, is your bias that the bottom is in long term? No way, bruh. Ha ha ha. Perfect entry. Listen, I cannot ignore how bullish this move is out of the bottom. Okay, I cannot ignore that. But as you guys know, I tweeted this the other day. I said I think buying Bitcoin from like 22 down to 20, I think there's a good chance we at least get another leg, and those are going to be some pretty nice buys. Right, as long as we're holding above here, I think we can go higher. I think if we get below here, right, I think then we probably make a new low. So I'm not sure. I got some spot exposure, not as much as I like, but I am prepared to buy more if we get really bullish. And I've bought a little bit of spot Bitcoin on this pullback and a little bit of Ethereum on this pullback. Why? Not just because we're in support, but what has everyone been waiting for? We've all been waiting for a pullback here this entire time. For the last 2 months, everyone's like, please give pullback. Well, now we're down 12% on Bitcoin. That's a solid, if this is going to continue higher, that's a really solid dip to at least buy a little on. So I bought some Ethereum specifically, at 1,500 and down, really even not even 1,500, like 1,550 and down. Over the last couple of days, I bought some spot Ethereum with the anticipation that we still have another leg higher. I don't know if the bottom is in long-term or not yet. I do think that there's, a chance that we have some sort of big range here for a while, maybe into the next year before we get, just a reversal. Or maybe this is the start of the bull run and the bottom is fucking in and it's just time to start longing every dip. I really know. That's not what I'm good at. Like I've said this before, I'm going to get outperformed by apes in a bull run who just long every pullback, right? but I will keep more of my money on the way down. And I will still do very well on the way up, right? I'm just more calculated with how I trade. So I'm not trying to say bottoms in 100%, just all in all of your stables. I just don't think that that's smart. That's not how I operate. Doesn't mean that's not what you can do. And doesn't mean that I'm right, right? I could absolutely be wrong. But I've been saying this for months before we even had this drop. Below 20K, between 10 and 20K Bitcoin and like 500 and 1,000 Ethereum, basically, I think it's great long-term value for the next bull run, right? Because if you believe that Bitcoin even makes another marginal all-time high, if you're buying from 20K down, you're like 3, 4, 5xing your money at a minimum, right? That's a bet I'm willing to take. Thoughts on GCR's tweet about possible retest of the lows? Which lows? So which lows? Is he talking about the lows here? Is he talking about these lows? I don't know. But I try and take things that guys like GCR and Hasaka and all those guys say with a grain of salt, right? You cannot let other people influence your analysis, no matter how good they are, how legit of a trader they are. You might think that, I am the best trader in the world, as you should, because I am. But if I'm bullish and you're like, my chart's telling me to short, trust your gut, trust your system, trust your analysis. Do not do something because someone else you think is good says the opposite. You're never going to make it with that type of thinking. What is your diet like? Mostly the blood of infants, newborns. That's how I'm 32 and I still have no wrinkles. Adrenochrome from newborn babies. Suck it right out. Just kidding. Chicken, vegetables, eggs, not a ton of carbs, and I'm eating less meals a day. I'm not really eating breakfast right now, which is helping kind of semi-intermittent fasting. Just less calories. That's all it is. I think any sort of diet, keto, intermittent fasting, whatever you're trying to do, it's just less calories, right? If you're doing keto, you're not eating any carbs, you're getting less calories. If you're doing intermittent fasting, you have less time to eat, less calories. It's all calories in, calories out. So if you know what your kind of maintenance calories are, what you need to maintain your weight, you need to be in a deficit if you want to lose weight. It's the only way. And I think a lot of people, our society there's a lot of ranting on this video. I don't know. I guess it's been a while. I think our society is kind of conditioned to, obviously instant gratification. You can get everything from your phone, your dopamine, your food, your drugs delivered, everything. And we live in a society where you have easy access to food, right? Like you are hungry, you can order Uber Eats, you can go to the grocery store, there's food in your house, boom, 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 right? You eat whenever you're hungry. When in reality, just because you're hungry, it doesn't mean you should eat. Being hungry is actually okay. And if you think back to, older times, right, there was times between hunts where there was no food, right? And that hunger is what drove you to go out and, make the kill and then eat. And, back in the day, being fat was viewed as like a sign of wealth because it means you had food to eat all the time. But I went to like 235, then down to like 190. Then I went up to like 210. Now I'm like 198 again. People are like, how'd you do it? It's like when I want to gain weight, I just ate more than I burned. And when I want to lose weight, I was hungry all the time because I was eating less. Simple as that. Mayne, can I DM you on Discord? Sure. Sand gonna unlock 12% of total tokens. What do you think about it? Good short chart wise? Let's take a look. That's a pretty ugly looking chart, wouldn't you say? Pretty nasty rejection there. Maybe something like this. For the unlock, I don't know. Chart, don't love the chart. There's lots of alts that look way nicer than this, specifically the ones on my watch list. This guy says, what causes inflation? That is like an hour-long video on its own. And there's people who are a lot smarter than me who can explain it a lot better than me. But the basis of it, right, is the buying power of your dollar has been eroded by the government by printing more money, all sorts of things. Whereas, you parents would always talk about, oh, back in the day, like I used to be able to go to the movie for like, $1, right? Or like, they bought their house for 200 grand. And it's like, okay, like the salaries haven't kept up with inflation, right? Like the cost of stuff, it's just more expensive now. The buying power of your dollar, right, has eroded massively over the last 100 years. But there's an entire video that I could probably do explaining what I think causes inflation and what economists say and things like that. But too much for this stream. There's a DuckTales episode explaining inflation perfectly. There you go. Check that out. GCR said the bottom is in. Okay, well, if you trust GCR, maybe, GCR has been proven to be good at what he does, right? So, I'm not trying to doubt him or go against what he's saying. But I think you should make your own decision and do your own analysis. Because what happens if you're like, GCR says the bottom's in, so you take all of your money and you buy spot, and then the bottom wasn't in and we make new lows? Whose fault is that? Is that GCR's fault, or is that your fault for being a sheep? It's your fault, right? So if you do your own analysis and you make your own decisions, then if they go wrong, that was your decisions that led you to make that choice, and you got to live with the results. And if they go right, it's because of you. You go all in on your spot because GCR said so, and we go up. Is that because GCR is a goat and you're just like following along? Or is that because you made a decision, right? You're the one pulling the trigger at the end of the day. It's your money at risk. So you need to be the one ultimately making the decision, as opposed to just trusting what some random stranger who you've never met on the internet says. Bottom or not, trade level to level. I like this guy. Exactly. Okay. Mayne, do you hold any stables? Yes, I still have stables. I would have loved to have been all in down here, or this is not the right chart, but I'm not, right? I didn't get as much filled as I wanted before this big rally, but I got some. That's why, luckily, I had a plan to dollar cost average, because otherwise, if you were waiting for 14 or 12K, if this was the bottom, what are you doing? You're holding your dick, right? No different than back here. Bybit should have more price history, right? No different than back here, right? People were waiting at 2K, right? At 3K even. Just waiting. They're like, I'm buying here. The bottom's here. It's like, okay, well, if we're this close to where you think the bottom is, why aren't you buying at least some here and then averaging down? Because what can happen is you think the bottom's here, you put all your orders here, and guess what? You never got in. So now you need a plan to get involved because price is moving away aggressively, right? So you got to be prepared to buy higher. So that was my thesis for this as well. I'm like, okay, likely price drops somewhere between 80 and 90% from all-time high. Last few bear markets, it was like 85%. Okay, I'm like 85% puts us at 10K. I want to buy probably, starting at 20K down. And yeah, I got orders. You have orders low, but if this is the bottom, guess what? At least I got some exposure. I can add back on bullish market structure on the high time frame. But if you just have all your orders here because you're like, it has to go down 80%, what if it doesn't, right? Then you missed out on the bottom. You didn't get any exposure, and now you got to chase, right? So I've been saying this for ages. I'm like, the bottom I think is close when we were here. I was like, I don't know if it's in yet, but I think it's close. And even if it is in, right, I think below 20K was really good, is going to be really good value in a few years. And, you know, below kind of 1200 on Ethereum, really good value in a few years. What are your views on the Hedra network and HBAR? I have no idea what the Hedra network is or HBAR, and I can confidently say I don't think I've ever taken a trade on HBAR. But let's look at it. Yeah, I mean, I no idea what this does. What I do know is there's a lot of people who own this from much higher than the current price that I'm sure would love to sell. So you gotta keep that in mind. But I mean, listen, the structure is bullish for now, right? So if you're looking at this on the daily chart, I'm thinking, okay, got a daily order block here. Just broke market structure. You got a swing low that's been placed right there. So I don't know, right? You have a sweep here, maybe something like this. If everything goes up eventually, I don't know. Maybe it just goes higher from here and this never gets tagged. Well, that's something I would be watching potentially. Daily bias is bullish. So if we come back and test that daily order block, I would want to see bullish price action, right? Simple, simple, simple. Hedera equals you don't own enough. Just for that, I'm never going to buy any. I don't care how high it goes. I don't care. Being like religious about altcoins almost never works, right? Think of all the lunatics, all the people who are religiously bullish on Luna. Yeah, a bunch of them printed, but how many of those people actually took any money out of the market and didn't eat a dick and eat massive amounts of shit the entire way down while it imploded, right? Uber bullish on XRP or Link, and yeah, you might make money. It might go up, right? But do you actually take profit? If you think it's the future, why are you taking profit now? XRP is going to $10. Why take profit now? What if it never does? What if that money could have been used elsewhere better? That's just me. I'm not really an altcoin fanatic. I'm a trader, right? So I primarily buy Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's it. And then I trade stuff where the chart looks good. Simple. Anyone know where you can find the link to Mayne's Telegram? It's literally my pinned tweet. I long sold. What do you think? Can you look at the chart? The H4 candle looks very bearish. Well, why did you long it? And where was your stop, your entry? What was your reason, your target? I don't know. Maybe you mean this H4 candle. Listen, you've got you got a SFP here. You've got relatively equal lows here, which is something of concern. I mean, we have a, yeah, like, I mean, we traded below this low and we're back above. So that's got to be your bullish thesis, is that this was just a deviation here, right? That would be your thesis. Excuse me. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and with CPI tomorrow, I probably wouldn't want to be long a bunch of altcoins personally. But we'll wait and see here. If these lows, this would be, you know, super clean, right? These lows here. Then you enter this with your stop there. That would be a nice clean setup. I don't love how that low is still there and this didn't take it out. But maybe we just go up from here. We're into some slight resistance here, as you can see. So that's something I'd potentially take. How do you factor sentiment in determining your buys? I don't. Sentiment doesn't affect the charts at all. Right? I just do what the chart says. Everyone can be bullish and price can still go down. Everyone can be bullish and price can still go up. And vice versa. How much of your portfolio is for trading? I don't know. I'd have to do the math. But I have stables. I have spot. Then I have a trading account on Bybit that I trade personally, which is probably 20% of my total portfolio. But when I'm risking on that account is based on the size of the account, not size of my total portfolio, right? So if I'm saying, hey, I'm risking 3%, it's 3% of that account, not of my entire portfolio. When should you go full time? Are you asking me? I don't think most people should ever try and trade full time because you're probably not going to be good enough and you're not going to make as much money as you think you are. And you've probably not practiced enough yet. And you've probably not saved up enough money to do so. You should have a system that you have proven, I'd say for a minimum of 6 months, but ideally a year plus, that you make more money than you lose every single month. Yeah, you can have a down month, sure, but you need to be consistently able to make more money than you lose. Okay? That's step one. And all of that can be done while you're working and doing it part-time. You do not need to be full-time to do that. If you get to that point where you can consistently make more money than you lose, and most people will never get there. Most people, and I say this all the time, better off just buying spot and chilling. Bitcoin went from 3,000 to 60,000. How many people traded and outperformed that? I didn't. If I would have just held all of the spot that I bought between 3 and 6K and sold somewhere near the top, I would have had more money than I did from my active trading. Now, obviously, I had some investments that went well. I caught a couple altcoin pumps that went well. So I did well overall. But Bitcoin did a 20x from the lows in like a year. Most people will never be able to do a 20x trading ever. You got to be really good. So I don't think anyone should really be going full time unless you're really, really good and you've got a system that works and you're consistently making money. I understand the allure of it. You're like, oh, I get to work from home and I can print money off the internet. It's not all, sunshine and rainbows, right? Like it's a lot of hard work, sleepless nights, insane levels of stress. I'm trying to trade less. I'm trying to diversify my income. I'm trying to start businesses. I'm trying to do things that require me to not trade as much because every time I enter a trade, I'm putting my money at risk. It affects my sleep. It affects my diet. If I'm in a bad position, I don't sleep good. I don't eat good. I get stressed out. I'm spending sometimes way too much time at the computer. So there's a lot of negatives that come with it. It's not like the FX lifestyle guys on Instagram you see who are chilling at the beach with their phone out trading and making a bunch of dough. That is not real trading. Those people are making money selling you bullshit, selling you the dream, right? But let's say that you have a system that is profitable and it works and you consistently make more money than you lose. I would say you probably want to have at the very least 1 full year of expenses saved up. So you need to know how much money you need every month to live. Let's say that's 50 grand for the entire year, right? So you need $4,500 a month to live, to pay rent, food, whatever, right? You need at least a year, in my opinion, saved up. Because what you don't want to be doing is you won't want to be in a position where rent is due in a few days and you need to make a couple winning trades to be able to pay rent. Because then you're going to start taking trades you probably shouldn't. You're going to be chasing because you need the money, right? That's not what you want to do. What you should be doing is compounding your trading account. You don't want to have to withdraw from your trading account every month to just live. You want to compound that thing so each time you win, it's even more money. That should be the goal. So I think most people would be better off focusing on the high time frame. Maybe you can still trade, but you do not need to do it full time. The amount of stress that you will relieve from yourself by having a regular job as your kind of source of steady income, and then trading is kind of that cherry on top, that extra. That's a much more, I think, sustainable and realistic goal, is to be able to make some money, right? But it's extra cash, right? Maybe it's an extra couple grand a month you're making, whatever it is, to afford your lifestyle, buy yourself something nice, go on a trip, as opposed to trying to do it full time. Doing it full time is very fucking hard. And I personally, and I've been doing this full time for years now, I personally, now that I have accumulated some wealth, I want to find ways to get my money out of crypto, not just completely out of crypto, but into other revenue generating things that aren't as risky as trading. And most people who are very successful traders and did very well will tell you the exact same thing. They're buying real estate. They're trying to get into businesses. They want passive income. How long did it take you to grow this mustache? You like the duster. Hold on. Look at this. Okay, hold on. Is it following me? Okay, watch this. Come on. Do the thing. Do the thing. Hold on. Trust me. This is going to be cool. Or is it this? Here we go. See that? Zooming in. Okay. Now I don't know how to zoom out. But yes, the duster is glorious. I don't know. I didn't shave for like 2 weeks, and then I just shaved my face and just left the duster. My girlfriend likes it. Have you ever done options trading? Yes, I have. A lot of the reasons you mention are probably why prop firms like FTMO and Top Step are so popular. Not your money, way less stress. You can always pass the challenge again. Absolutely true, right? Why not trade with other people's money if you can? Other people's money is the best kind of money. It's like, I grew up in a town where, there's like a big boating culture, right? And people are like, oh, why do you have a boat? It's like, because my buddy has a boat. And that means I get to use it, right? I get to go out with them boating all the time. But he has to do all the work, carry all the expenses. Same thing goes, right? Other people's money is better than your money. Absolutely. I look like a psycho here with these hand gestures. I want it to zoom out now. There we go. Good enough. Did I cash out on those Tesla calls? Yeah, I'm fully out of Tesla. I got out before it 2x'd fully. I got out around here. What a ride, though. And listen, like, this is what I mean. Like, fuck day trading, dude. Weekly SFP into a weekly bullish order block. My exact setup here, forming. If you know, you know. Right here. Fucking 2x. And then I was doing options too. So I printed on some of those calls. Is it true that you're banned from crypto boxing because your neck is too thick? Can't KO. Let's just go with that. I actually really enjoyed announcing. I'll be doing it again at the next one. I think I'll be even better because I'll be a little more confident. It was quite nerve-wracking. Like, I showed up there and they like gave me a mic and an earpiece. They're like, all right, go stand there and start talking about shit like right on camera right away. I was like, holy shit, I didn't realize it was gonna be that intense. I thought I was just gonna be kind of shooting the shit, color commentary, but I really enjoyed it. I'll definitely be doing it again. Those guys worked their asses off, right? For months. They all paid for their own training, worked their asses off, didn't drink, didn't party, didn't go out, trained 4 or 5 times a week, all to get punched in the face a bunch. So I don't know. Maybe when it gets to a point where there's some money involved, right? And there's a chance for me to make some money or at least get sponsors. So I don't got to fucking pay out of pocket for me to train to, potentially get, to get in a fight. And I don't know. I've been punched in the face before. It's not very fun. But also, there was, some mismatches size wise as well. There's not really a ton of people who were in my height and weight class. There was Bags and Grimace, Eric, and they scrapped, and they're about my size, but they're also a decade older than me, so they were more of a fair matchup, as opposed to fighting me. It's only 32. They're in their 40s. If you didn't get wrecked from Sam Fried, would you have the same views on trading? I've had these views on tradings for the entire time. What happened with FTX didn't change it at all. You just say I have a sharp jaw. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. Thank you very much. Must be this new light making it look fucking extra spicy. Okay. First time on your stream, you mentioned a daily order block. Can you explain a little on that? Yeah, if you go to my YouTube and Zikin13, type in Trader Mayne on YouTube and then type in order block. I have an entire kind of 12-minute video going over it. I also have a video called like price action concepts you must know, and I cover it there as well. If you go on my page and you go to the playlist on my YouTube, there's an education one. Check that out. Good advice. Aren't you worried about starting a business in commie Vancouver? Yeah, I mean, listen, I dislike the Canadian government greatly. I hate the tax situation here. I hate a lot of things about it. But the quality of life in Canada is extremely high. Okay. The air is clean. The water is good. It's relatively safe. No one has guns. My entire family lives here. My friends, I grew up here. So I'm willing to pay for the luxury of having those things, right? Like, yeah, you could go live in the Bahamas and not pay any tax, but now you're living on an island, right? What if you have like a medical emergency and there's not the infrastructure that you need there? I don't know, right? So there's positives and negatives, and you have to do the cost benefit yourself. It doesn't mean that I might never leave Canada. I might. If Canada bans crypto tomorrow, I'm probably going to have to figure something out, right? But for the meantime, I'm here, and taxes are the cost of doing business. My best advice, just make more money. The best way. And if you're paying a shitload of taxes, guess what? It's because you made a shitload of money. Okay, so let's see here. Sandwich Finance is the website. The rain blows. It doesn't rain nearly as much as people make it seem like it does. Like it rains, but it doesn't rain nearly as much as people think, and it doesn't really snow, right? So, it's very mild. Like I think we're in the middle of February right now, and it is nighttime, and it's 3 degrees Celsius. The high tomorrow, it's going to be sunny, is 8. That's not bad for Canada, right? It's the warmest part of Canada, and the weather's not that bad. And the summers here, the spring, summer here, and early fall is phenomenal. Amazing weather, perfect temperature. Like in the summer, the sun goes down at like 10 o'clock at night. It's amazing. We have super long days. Why don't you trade Cardano? Is it the platform you're using? It's not that I don't trade Cardano. Maybe I just haven't seen a setup that I like on it, right? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's just been yes, this did a 70% from the low, right? But Ethereum did 50%. Just Ethereum. What did some of those other altcoins do? What was I trading instead of trading Cardano? I was trading Apt. I was trading OP. I was trading these newer coins that massively outperform the old bullshit, right? So it's not that I won't. It's not that I won't trade Cardano. If there's a setup there, I'll take it. So let's quickly go through these altcoins, guys, and then I'm going to wrap it up. It's been an hour and a half. I know there's a lot of ranting in this video, but I think there's some value. And I got to play a little bit of Harry Potter before bed, naturally. Maybe I'll start streaming that. I am going to start streaming more gambling starting probably next week. So I'll be playing slots and blackjack. I had so much fun doing that video a couple weeks ago. That's going to become a regular thing for me. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to delegate all of that gambling content to Twitch. So it will be a separate thing from YouTube, right? So if you want just my trading shit, you don't care about watching me gamble, you stay on YouTube. But if you want to see me fuck around and gamble, I'll put all of that on Twitch and I'll try and keep it separate. But I'm going to start doing that too. It's super fun. And yeah, maybe I'll get back to my gaming streams. I used to love doing those gaming streams where I'd game and look at the charts and kind of just chill with you guys. So now that I got this new office, I feel really motivated and regenerated to get after it. So really stoked for it to all come together. You can gamble with some places on Twitch. Don't you worry. Okay, so Solana, I just talked about already because someone asked, right? So we took out that low. We're trading back above it. So you want to see it hold above here. If it gets below this low, right? If it gets below here and starts holding, we're targeting this consolidation here back at like 16 to 17, okay? Apt, I talked about us. We shorted this on the way down beautifully. We made a bunch of money, which is great. This chart is what got the challenge account back on track with some really nice trades on Aptos. Big old pullback, which we were expecting. It finally happened. Now we're into support, right? So I talked about this area. I said we're coming down to this area sooner than later. And sure enough, here we are. We got a nice run of the lows within this zone, right? Nice run of the lows within this daily bullish order block here, or 12-hour order block. You look at the H1, we've now got effectively equal highs right here. So, this is your classic trader Mayne setup that played out or got filled right here with your stop there. So this is if the whole market remains bullish, right? If Bitcoin's going to make another long or another move to 25K plus and Ethereum to 1800 or 2K, I'm still bullish on Aptos. And this is where I want to see price put in some bullish market structure, low time frame. And you're starting to see it on the hourly, right? Made a higher high here. 4 hour, still bearish, but we got a nice sweep there. Higher time frames are still bearish, clearly, but some of the lower time frames, right, starting to put in some bullish market structure. So let's wait and see. But yeah, Apt into support, getting a nice reaction, and we had this area mapped out for a while. We're in there now. Link, again, old altcoin, just didn't perform like a lot of the new stuff. And I tried to long this a few times, just didn't get the reaction I wanted. This is like extremely choppy. Look at some of the other markets. Even look at this next to Bitcoin. Right? Over the same time frame. What do you think's been easier to trade? And look what's done way better. Look at how fucking like Bitcoin is up more than Link, right? Link BTC probably looks like anus. Yeah, absolutely. I don't even remember drawing any of these lines, but yeah, like, I mean, this looks like shit. So there's a reason why Link looks like shit, Link USD. And it's underperforming Bitcoin. So this is an ugly chart. There's way better charts than this to be focused on and to be trading. This is just choppy, hellish bullshit. You know, I guess what does it have going for it? I guess it's swept some of these lows, but I don't really like this as a chart. I'll probably be taking this off of the watch list. Yeah, I don't like it. Get rid of it. OP, similar to Aptos, huge outperformer to the upside over the last couple of months. We expected a pullback. We got that pullback. We're now into that daily bullish order block. So again, just like Aptos, I want to see the bulls step in here, and I want to see some bullish market structure. So I'm going to be looking for some bullish market structure to form. You can already kind of see it happening right here. Again, we got CPI tomorrow, so this could totally get nuked, but we've now made a low, and then we've made a higher high now. So you could see this go up from here. We've got some nice clear targets above here. High time frame demand. We're within the discount of this range. This is where you want to be looking to get long. BNB, similar to Link, it's just kind of like, not really trading that clean, not that nice. Much better options out there than BNB. FTM, something I really like. This is one I like. So we've got the same kind of idea here, right? Big move up. We're now tagged that daily demand zone. Can we still go lower in here? Abso-fucking-lutely. But it is good to see that we tagged it and we got a nice reaction. So want to be paying attention to FTM. If the whole market is going to remain bullish, I'm expecting this to make another leg higher. I think the market structure on this one looks really good. I think the chart looks really good. I love this, right? Confluence here with that daily order block also being this weekly level. So I like FTM a lot. That one will remain. AVAX, I think I'm taking off the list. Busted that kind of pattern there. Yeah, I don't know. I got to thin this list out a little bit. Gala. I mean, yeah, I'll leave this on. It's in a support now. Pretty clear levels here, right? You got this low and that low. Get back above there. Starts to look potentially interesting. LDO, I still like. Still like this one. So this is where we want to see the bulls step in. We've got these lows right here. So maybe these get run first and then we go up. But this is the area where I want to see the next leg originate from. Curve, I still really like. So we came down. Yeah, we had a little bit of an ugly kind of, situation at the high here with this dump, but we're still respecting this zone. And then we have this daily demand here, right? Again, came into it, very strong reaction. So if the market remains bullish, if Bitcoin's going to make another leg higher, I don't see why this doesn't make another leg higher as well. And I could see this trade up into here, right? And then up into here, assuming the market doesn't shit the bed, right? GMT kind of looks like shit. Remember I said this was from last stream. I was like, if it can flip this, it's a long. But guess what? It didn't flip it. That ended up being the top, that bearish order block, right? So I basically wanted to see this order block become a breaker, but it did not happen. Got that strong rejection candle. And if you zoom in, I'm sure there's some sort of bearish setup here that you could have entered on the low time frame. Right? Bearish order block. Clearly, we came into resistance, started making bearish market structure. Bearish order block, puke. But yeah, this one kind of looks like shit. Kind of looks like shit. Trading below this low, I think, is not great. Better coins out there. There's better looking setups. Axie, A lot of alts look very similar. They're all tagging that daily demand. Dogecoin, nah. I never have success trading this fucking coin. Same with Sheeb. Sheeb looks a little better. Phil. I like this. Daily demand here, right? And then we also have all these lows that got purged. So want to see us hold above these lows, get above this high, then it looks good for another leg. But so many of these coins look the same. Tagging daily demand. So you want to see bullish market structure start to form in these areas. What percent did you lose in FTX? None of your business. What a weird fucking question. Like, how much money is in your bank account right now? Tell me. How much money do you make? What's your salary? This goes back to what I was saying at the start of the video, man. Everyone's worried about everyone else's money. You should be worried about your own money. The next question was the exact same. How much of your net worth did Sam steal? Too much. Too much. 62 degrees in Cali. Listen, I love California, man. If LA wasn't becoming such a fucking shithole, I would absolutely live there or live in like San Diego or something, Palm Springs. I love the weather in California. I think it's the best weather in the entire world. If you had to draw a range on the 1 hour BTC chart, what would it look like? I would probably use this. That's what I would do. I thought gambling was banned on Twitch. A lot of people do it on Kick. That's where I did my first one on Kick, and maybe that's where I'll do it. But I had so much fun recording that gambling stream. I want to do it again. I think they're super cool, super fun. I enjoy doing it. Gambling on Twitch is legal in Canada. There you go. So when would you enter a long on app? What are you waiting for? I want to see bullish market structure form within this area of demand. And I just explained that there was a trigger right here already that's played out. So you need to find, what is your setup? How do you get in trades? You guys know my system by now, right? If I'm trying to get in a long, my favorite situation is this, right? These are my favorite type of longs. What do you see here? Right? Boom, 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 boom. The exact same thing over and over and over again. So if you're wondering what I'm looking for, it's the same thing I always look for. Okay, guys. Eth looks like it's trying to reclaim 1500, but I guess it doesn't matter because of CPI. This guy T-Dubs says, how many inches is your PP? I've talked about this before, guys. The Hebrew Hammer is its nickname. So you do the math. Would you suggest buying alts before or after CPI numbers tomorrow? That's a stupid question. I'm not going to answer that. I'm not here to tell you what to do, what to buy, when to buy, what to do. I'm not interested in telling you that. So what happens if I tell you to buy alts right now and then everything dumps tomorrow? You're going to be pissed, right? It's not my position. I don't give financial advice. Does he even read the chat here? Yes, I do. Please look at STGUSD. Okay, this will be the last chart, guys, and then I'm going to end the video because this has been an hour and 40-minute stream. Like, this looks pretty fucking good. Right? So what I talked about before, daily bias, right? bullish SFP, bullish order block, bullish order block. So bullish PD arrays being respected, and we're putting in bullish market structure. So I really like this one. I am going to add this to my watch list. There you go. Well done. Look at how it's performing relative to the rest of the market. So this one looks pretty good. Maybe we run these lows and then go higher. I don't know, but let's see if it continues to make higher highs and higher lows and continue to respect bullish market structure. All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to support me, guys, the best way to do that is use that Prime XBT link, sign up, link in the description, deposit some money after using code Mayne50 and start trading there. That's the best way to support me if that's what you want to do. But I obviously don't ask for anything from you guys. I enjoy doing these videos for you. We're really excited about the new office. Can't wait for my new PC to come, and then I'll finalize my office, and I'm gonna have a nice TV and some lights mounted behind me, so we'll have a cool background. It's gonna be great. So really looking forward to it. But yeah, feeling motivated, feeling excited. So I will let you guys know on Telegram what I do with my longs going into CPI tomorrow. If I close them before bed, maybe I just take some profit and move my stop to break even. I don't know yet. But we'll wait and see. I'm going to watch for the next couple hours before I decide. But yeah, I'll be back soon. I'll probably upload a quick video tomorrow just discussing what happens after CPI. Yeah, going to get back on that kind of more usual video rhythm. Condensed stream will go up sometime tomorrow as well. The editor's had enough time off. It's time for him to get back to the work. Time to crack the whip, get him back to work. But yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in as always. Hopefully you learned something. If you like these videos, you want to see more of them, make sure you're following me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter. Share my content, like it, comment on it. All of that stuff helps me out. So I appreciate it. Love you guys.